Welcome to video 3 of the Python course series. This is the ML journey. In this video, we'll talk about numbers and arithmetic and the basic calculations that Python can do. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use all 7 arithmetic operations. You know the difference between a slash and a double slash. You'll be able to use built-in math functions and apply operator precedence. We'll talk about some of the common arithmetic operations used in Python. Okay, so for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to create two variables, a equals 10 and b equals 20. So now I have two variables, a and b. So I want to perform basic arithmetic operations. Addition. So to perform addition, I just say print a plus b. Now, print a plus b simply means that compute a plus b and then display the resulting value to the user. So if I run this code, I'm going to get 30 because a is 10 and b is 20. So 10 plus 20 gives 30. Now let's say I don't want to display the information to the user. So there is another thing I can do. I can create a new variable c and do c equals a plus b. In this case, I've computed a plus b, and instead of displaying the value to the user, I stored the value in a new variable c. If I want to find the contents of c, I'm just going to say print c. So if I run this, I'm still going to get 30. Okay, that's it for addition. Now let's talk about subtraction. So we are going to do pretty much something similar. So c equals, so this time let's take a new variable d equals a minus b. A is 10 and b is 20. So we are expecting d to have negative 10. Let's print the value of d. So we have negative 10. We have negative 10. Okay, we'll now move on to division. So let's create a new variable e, and then we say b divided by a. Okay, if I print the value of e, instead of a 2, I'm getting 2.0. Now let me look for the data type for e. Print type e. If I run this, I'm now having 2.0 class float. So which means the division, which is the slash, returns a float. So whenever I divide two numbers, although those two numbers are integers, we don't return an integer, but instead we return a float. There is another variant of division, and that is the floor division. For the floor division, we are always going to return an integer value. And now let's create new variables I or x and y. So let's say x equals 7 and y equals 2. So let's create a new variable r to be x divided by y. So for the floor division, it's 2 slashes. For the normal division, a single slash. For the floor division, a double slash. Now let's print this statement and let's see what we are supposed to get. So x divided by y. Sorry, we print r. Let's also create another variable g, and let's do the normal division. And now let's print g. Okay. If I run this now, let me comment this out. Okay. So The reason I comment out is to prevent Python from running these files. So once I comment them out by putting the hash in front, Python is no longer going to execute these files. It will skip all of them. So the hash is just telling Python to skip these files. Okay, so to number 18, I have x equals 7 and y equals 2. And on 21, I'm saying r equals x double slash y. And on 22, I'm saying g equals x single slash y. Now let's print for both cases and let's see what we get. I'll explain something here. Okay, so r equals 3 and g equals 3.5. Now g is normal division. So if I have 7 and I divide it by 2, I'm going to get 3.5. That's 3.5. Okay, now for the r equals x double slash y. So that is 7 double slash 2. I'm supposed to get a 3.5. But then for floor division, it's only going to take the integer value regardless of the decimal. Now, there is another arithmetic operation called the modulus. The modulus. Now, let's create a variable p, 56, and h, 2. The modulus simply means what is the remainder that I'm going to get if a number is divided by another. So if I say 56 modulo 2, it means if I divide 56 by 2, what remainder will I get? So if I say t equals p modulo h, all I'm saying is if p is divided by h, what is going to be the remainder? So if I print t, let's see what I get if I print t. I get 0 because 56 is an even number. Now let's say I choose 57. If I run this time, I'm going to get 1 because 57 divided by 2 is going to give us a certain number, remainder 1. So that's the meaning of modulus. Subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, for the division, there are two types. We have the normal division and we also have the floor division. So for the floor division, it divides the number and it returns only the integer value. We also have the modulus and the exponent. Then we'll move on to order of operations. Imagine a situation where you would like to perform so many different operations at the same time. Most of these operations have some order in which we perform them. And this is the BODMAS. So the brackets, then order, then division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Let's do a little practice. Now, suppose you have so many arithmetic operations in a single expression. Let's consider this statement. A equals 2 multiplied by 5 plus 4. If I have two arithmetic operations in a single statement, then how is Python going to execute them? It's simple, by BODMAS, brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So the multiplication here executes first. So 2 by 5, that gives us 10 plus 4, 14. So if I print the value of A, we are going to see 14. Imagine a situation where you have several arithmetic operations. It becomes very difficult to know who is going to execute and at what time. So the best thing to do is to introduce parentheses. Instead of following the order of operations, I would advise you to use parentheses to separate sets of values in your work. So 2 times 5 So we put these in parentheses, plus 4 divided by okay. And even depending on what you want to achieve, you may decide to group all these into one parenthesis so that we have 2 by 5 plus 4 by 3 all divided by 5 by 4. Now if I print the value of a, I'm going to get the actual thing that I wanted. Now a is supposed to be 1.1 and that's what I have. Now suppose I take these parentheses off and I print the value of a. I'm now having 10.6. 10.6 is different from 1.1. So you see how important it is to include parentheses in your work. We now move on to some useful math functions. We have the round. So round is used to round a number to a certain number of decimal places. We also have the abs. Abs is used to convert a number to the absolute value. That is, it takes away the negative and returns a positive number. We also have the max. So max will return the largest value in a sequence of numbers. And then we have the min, which is going to return the smallest value in a sequence of numbers. And the sum, which adds all values together and returns the sum of all the values in a list. Okay, suppose you want a variable to store so many numbers. I could just create a list of numbers by doing a equals square brackets and I put the numbers in it, all separated by a comma. This is called a list. We'll talk about a list in much detail later in the series. Now, for a list of numbers, there are several operations I can perform on them. Say I want to display the maximum number in the list. I just say max and the name of the list. So max A. Now let's run this. And I have 8. 8 is the maximum number in the list. Let's say I introduce 95. If I run this again, now I have 95 as the maximum number in the list. Okay, suppose I want the minimum number. Can you guess the function? It's a min. So min A, if I run this, I have 2. 2 is the minimum number in this list. Now, suppose I want to sum every single number in this list. All I'm going to do is sum A. If I run this, I'm now going to see 120. That's me adding every single number in the list. We want the absolute value of a number. Let's say A is -5, but then we just want the absolute value of -5. Absolute value simply means strip the sign from the number. So if I have +5, absolute value is 5. If I have -5, absolute value is 5 because I've taken the sign away. And 5 is the same as what? +5. So the absolute value of a positive number is still positive, but the absolute value of a negative number is positive. So let's print absolute value of A. If I run this statement, I'm going to have 5 because it strips away the negative and returns a positive number. That's it for the absolute value. Let's say we have 5.79. We want to run this number to one place of decimal. So we are going to use the function called round. A, comma, and the number of places of decimal. So let's say we want one place of decimal. This is what we do. Round A, which is the number, to one place of decimal. If I run this code, I'm going to get 5.8. Our number was initially 5.79. To one place of decimal, we have 5.8. Today we talked about arithmetic operations, and we spoke about the single slash and the double slash, and also the percentage, which returns the remainder after division. See you in the next video, where we'll talk about strings and string methods. But before you leave, I have a take-home challenge for you. You have to build a WAEC grade calculator. In this WAEC grade calculator, you're supposed to create 3 variables. And these 3 variables store subjects. So math for one subject, English and science. All 3 are supposed to store some scores. Then you calculate and print the total scores and the average scores. Please do well to round the average score to one place of decimal.